All right, hello everyone. Today is March 27th, 2026, and I wanted to do something a little bit different here, a little bit different style video. We are going to look at the forecast ahead for a longer range forecast outlook for our region. So if you're new to us, we cover the quad state region of South Dakota, Minnesota, Nebraska, and Iowa, basically the northern plains essentially. And let's go ahead. I wanted to make an in-depth video on the longer range outlook of the weather. So let's dive in here. Let's look firstly at our future radar forecast outlook here. So as we go throughout this weekend, again, we're looking at a dry weekend overall. We're not really seeing much going on. Now, diving into next week, starting on Monday, you notice right away there is some snow chances up here into eastern North Dakota, into northern Minnesota and Canada. That is a weak disturbance pushing through those areas. Now on Monday, there could be some light precip, light rain around North Dakota, but that would be about it for Monday. And then Monday night into Tuesday, we're watching potential for some thunderstorm activity across northeastern Iowa into southeastern Minnesota and Wisconsin. And then also maybe some light rain here in northeastern South Dakota. Something we'll keep an eye on there. So that could be our next shot at any kind of moisture for our region. But it's very scattered and spotty in nature, and maybe by Tuesday morning there could be some lingering light sprinkles across Nebraska into maybe the Sioux Falls area. Now let's head into your day on Tuesday. There could be some more rain across Iowa on Tuesday, so something we'll keep an eye on there. Now as we head into Wednesday, looks like we're going to dry things out. The pattern has changed a little bit. A few days ago, we were looking at a potential April Fool's Day system, and that has changed. The models have changed and are not showing anything for the first day of April. Now, April 2nd, that's next Thursday, that could be our next real legitimate shot at a system pushing through the region. As you can see here, we have some rain out in western South Dakota, it appears there. And then it moves west to east across the area, moving into central South Dakota, and then eventually eastern South Dakota Thursday night into Friday. So at that point, that is a week out. And so that is what we're seeing here. The latest now heading into your weekend, the following weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend. Look at this. This is Friday into Saturday. We're looking at a bigger system potentially here as we head into the 3rd and 4th of April. And that takes us out to next weekend. And then by Saturday into Sunday, it looks like we'll dry things out again. Now the following week, heading into the April 7th and 8th time frame, looks fairly dry through that period. So it does look like early April looks to be an active period. It looks like of weather next week. So it does look like next week. You guys should be on alert for this and be prepared, as this is a possibility that we could see a bigger, quote-unquote, bigger system as we head into early April. And we'll see what happens after that. So now this is a look at a little bit farther out. This is the GFS model, and this takes us out farther out, taking us out to the 6th of April to kick off that week. Now that could potentially be a system on April 7th. So this would be on Tuesday, April 7th. There could be a system across the northern plains, and this is something to watch. And as we move throughout the week, Wednesday there could be some lingering snow. And then after that, it looks like we could see another hit. Maybe we could see some snow here across northern Nebraska, southern South Dakota. That would take us out to Thursday, April 9th. And that is kind of what we're seeing there. And then also on Friday, April 10th, this is what we're looking at. Maybe some rain across southeastern South Dakota into Nebraska there. And so there's some things behind the scenes that are suggesting that we could see an active month of precip for April. All right, we're going to get back to our weather video in just a moment, but first, sponsorship opportunities out there. We are looking for sponsors, so if you are interested in partnering with T-Storm Chasers and becoming a sponsor with us, feel free to reach out to us on our Facebook page or any of our social platforms, as well as our email or phone number. And we're also launching our new weather call system that is available now. Highly recommend. Sign up. It's $15 for a whole year, and you get life-saving phone calls from us here at T-Storm Chasers. It is a GPS-based system, so any warnings that are issued in your area during severe weather events such as tornadoes, severe weather, and flood events, any warnings that are issued for your immediate area, you will receive a phone call within seconds from us at T-Storm Chasers giving you guys life-saving information. If you're interested, sign up today. Go to the website at tscalert.org. Now let's get back to the video. And this map here from the NOAA backs this up. Have a look here at the 6 to 10 day precipitation forecast outlook here. This takes us through the beginning, basically the first week of April essentially is what we're looking at here. And you can see above normal precip for a large chunk of the country. Now, spots in particular, down in Texas and then up in the upper Midwest, up towards Michigan and the Ohio Valley, Illinois, Iowa. And our region is above normal. So we are looking at above normal precip as we head into the first week of April. Now, if we look at the 8 to 14 day, and again, this is using the NOAA map, here is your 8 to 14 day, and this one is a little bit different. This is April 4th through 10th. It does look like after the first week of April, through the 10th of April, we're going to start to see near normal precip, it looks like. We're kind of, the areas in gray, that's where the near normal precip is. You notice out west here, out in California, they're going to be really dry, it looks like, below normal. But then out here into the southern United States, looking above normal for precip. Now, that's a good thing because typically in early spring, in late winter, early spring, usually if the southern part of the country gets a lot of moisture during this time of the year, usually that bodes well for us and our region in the northern plains, usually towards May and June and the summer months. So, usually it's kind of a preview of what we are going to see for moisture. Now, this map shows it's kind of split. Again, we're kind of seeing near normal precip for a large chunk of the region. Now, what does that actually mean? Well, it means that they are thinking that the climate averages, the precip averages, are going to be around normal, which means it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to not see anything. We're not going to see any precip. We're probably going to see a disturbance or two. It just means it's not going to be an overload of precip. Now, looking at the 3 to 4 week, this is the taking us out into mid-April, and you can see a large chunk of the central United States is going to be above normal precip. The Ohio Valley, upper Midwest region, and then down into Dixie Alley and the southern U.S. is looking wetter than normal. Now, the monthly outlook for precip. I found this very interesting. This is the main map that I wanted to look at. This is the precipitation outlook for the month of April, and this is what we're seeing. Above average precip across a large chunk of our area. Minnesota, Iowa, eastern South Dakota, eastern Nebraska. Now, equal chances, that means, they're unsure, there's some uncertainty, and probably looking at near normal precip for these areas out west, western South Dakota, western Nebraska, up into Montana, down to Texas. But this gives you a good idea that we are seeing a bit of a contrast, but it does look like overall for our region, we're looking at above normal precip into the month of April. So that's some good news. Hopefully this plays out, and hopefully, as the old saying goes, April showers bring May flowers, and let's hope that that comes true because we are dry and we need some moisture. Look at this map. This is the latest drought monitor, and have a look at your screen. The things that we're seeing here on this map is the colors, and the different colors mean different drought categories. The yellow, that is the minor drought. The tan color, that is your moderate drought, which that includes Sioux Falls down to Sioux City, over towards Rapid City. And, a large chunk of our audience here is in a drought, in some kind of drought. Nebraska has been hit the hardest. We are seeing the worst of the drought in Nebraska and southern South Dakota. And the orange colors, that is where we have the severe drought. And then the red color, that is where we have the extreme drought. And that is in actually northeastern Nebraska, believe it or not, out of all places. And then into the panhandle of Nebraska is very dry as well. So this is the way things stand right now. And, this is early spring. Usually there's some kind of drought in this time of the year for our region, but we do need some moisture. We need to start picking up rain or precip of any kind. We definitely need some moisture. So that is going to be it for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy this. It was a little bit different style video. Be sure to give this a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Drop a comment down below. We want to hear from you guys. And ring those notification bells so you don't miss any of our future videos. And also check us out on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok as well so you don't miss any of our future content over there. And with that, thank you guys for watching. Have a great weekend out there. I'll see you guys on Monday, and we'll see you in the next video.